It's an honor to be with you today to moderate an important discussion, Designing the Designers, Building Saudi Creative Talent Pipelines. Over the next hour, we will explore how Saudi Arabia can bridge the talent gap in design and architecture by rethinking education, strengthening mentorship opportunities, and building stronger connection between academia and industry. Our shared goal tonight is to reflect on how we can nurture and empower new generation of Saudi designers and architects, creative minds who are not only ready to meet the country's evolving needs, but also to shape its future. Before we begin, allow me to introduce our distinguished panelists. We are honored to be joined today by three voices representing practice, academia, and leadership, each bringing a unique perspective to our conversation. We'll start with Ahmed Conner. He's an architect and designer, co-founder and creative director of Ansar Mushah. Dr. Badr Al-Ataibi, he's an architect, academic leader at Najran University. He's also an advisor to the president and the head of Department of Architecture. He's also an ambassador of King Salman Charter for Architecture and Urbanism. And lastly, Riyana Al-Aqil. She's an inspiring interior designer and fresh graduate. Welcome to the stage. Thank you all for being here. I'll start with Dr. Badr with the typical, let's say, question, but we're going to take a twist on it. Do you believe academic design program in Saudi Arabia are aligned with the current market needs, given that with all the changes that we are facing now and the huge projects and mega projects that we're building?
Thank you, Hannah, for having me today. And I hope my colleagues and I share clear ideas and thoughts about the future of the Design Saudi scheme. The simple answer for your question is partially aligned. There has been good progress, but significant gaps remain. There are key factors, but let me give you from academia perspective. The first of all is the global versus local fit. The most of our programs are built on global benchmarks, and even we use a local benchmark. It's adapted from international models like a big university, King Saud, and King Abdulaziz, Imam Abdurrahman, Faisal University. So programs are lack of the Saudi context, culture, and the market, labor market realities. So, for example, in the past 3 years, we received 3 letters from different government entities. For example, include Saudi Building Code in your curriculums. It's not included in one course, or I want a full plan to integrate the Saudi Building Code, which is difficult, and also the King Salman Charter for Architecture and Urbanism. And I think because of that, you appoint me as ambassador. This is the first point. It's the global and local. The second point, from my opinion, is the weak industry engagement. Okay, so also in the past 3-4 years, we developed 4 academic programs. The program development process evaluated by experts from academia. So there is no input or feedback from people in industry. Also, even advisory councils in the colleges or Department of Architecture, they are not effective. Okay, I'm chairing one and a member of some, but not effective that much. So I think that's one of the problems in the alignment of market needs. Also, one of the important thing is the real life project. Okay, so I think the studio project should focus real community needs, real clients. I think we try our best in universities to bring like this project, but it's difficult without collaboration from industry. I think this is the most 3 or 4 important factors that cause a misalignment, a little misalignment.
And since Ahmed here with us today from the industry, he can maybe give us a perspective on how we can bridge the gap between the industry and the academic programs, given that the updates and changes are a bit slow and they don't keep up maybe with the industry.
طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Thank you very much for having me. Inshallah, hopefully I can add to the discussion. I think it's very important to mention that I'm here maybe representing the graphic design world, not necessarily, although I come from an architectural background that I've moved on from. Also, building on a little bit of experience in teaching professional practice courses in university, I believe the biggest gap is in expectations with students. I used to teach the course right after the internship program or the co-op program. And the biggest comment I kept getting from students was the shock of the freedom they have as students. And I think this is the biggest piece of contrast between the real world or real clients and them being al-khasm wal-hakam, being the decision maker, the designer, and the client. So I think internship programs are extremely important. I am a big supporter of longer internship programs other than the co-op programs that take more than 2 months. And I think they do really help because you can talk about what you could expect after you graduate, but when you actually experience it, I think the second biggest challenge that students face is the pace of work. They expect that, they're used to having a project for a whole semester or 2 projects in a semester, where that isn't the case at all. They could be required to do something in a single week that they're used to do in a whole semester. And I see a lot of nodding from Rayana, so
That's
maybe she can add to that.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So we can ask Rayana, since she, not necessarily we need to wait until we graduate, but even during summertime, which I know that Rayana had an experience in summer school during summer, and then an internship inside Saudi Arabia, and then another internship in France. So can you elaborate on what Ahmed said, like understanding the constraints and the real world?
I definitely agree with what Ahmed said, that my internship was a very important part in my educational journey because it acted as the bridge between the theories and whatever we are learning in classrooms and the real life industry. So we were facing real challenges, such as working with limited budget, meeting the client expectations, coordinating across different disciplines, and even dealing with material availability. So all these challenges gave me a full perspective of the project cycle and how coordination works in real life practice. And on the other side, it developed me a lot in the soft skills. It taught me a lot how to deal with my manager, how to blend and adapt with the work culture, and how to collaborate with other teammates. So it definitely added a lot to me. Yeah.
And is there a difference between having an internship locally and abroad?
Yes, because it's maybe an exposure to other methodologies and strategies they use there. Depends on their culture and heritage, their lifestyle. Maybe there's a lot of differences that like allocate how designers think and work. So yeah, there's a difference for sure.
And I'll go back to Ahmed, since Rayana is talking about her experience and freshly graduate, and she's maybe facing the shock that you just talked about. So a lot of these young designers, they need a mentor, and I'm sure they're seeking you as a mentor, sometimes as a leader in the industry. So what kind of advice that you would give them, and how to choose the right mentor to guide them in their journey? What's not to do, you know, just in general, like advice, and be honest with the young designers.
I think choosing the mentor is a bit of a privileged statement. I mean, you could choose someone, but they wouldn't.
They might not choose
they
you
might
back.
not choose you back, exactly. So I think, at least from my experience, I cannot generalize too much here, but I think from my experience, events like these are great opportunities for people to be introduced to people. And I don't want to say like-minded people, but people that you look up to, people that you feel that represent something that you believe in. And I think it goes a lot back to your values or design values, things that you believe in, principles. And then if you feel that there is that initial gravitation towards that person, and then maybe look into a way to crossroads with those people, either to have a question after a panel discussion, or attending a talk, or being in a place, or even just messaging someone. I remember one of the people that I've met, and then for a very long time we've kept in touch, was them sending us an email, or not even an email, a message on Instagram saying, do you have an opening for internships? I'm not up for an internship. They were saying, it's not time for like university internships for us, but I would like to utilize my summer and get to know you and your business a bit better. And he is a person that I'm very proud that he was in Unsur Mushia at a certain time, and that we've crossroads, and then they've moved on to their experiences. But I think sometimes if the time is right, if the person is right, if the chemistry is right, things happen.
But an internship or even working for someone can be a key. So we can go to Dr. Badr and ask about even including longer internships, or even what we call in Arabic a telmada, where we have an internship, it is paid, but also have mentor along the way. So what do you think of including this in the programs?
I think it's a good idea to include apprenticeships in our program. But I see there are some barriers, I think, maybe from three sides, in my opinion. I'm talking about the current situation in Saudi Arabia. The first one is about the structure and regulation. Okay, there is no, or there is an absence of a national framework that includes all apprenticeship requirements, like what are the competencies required for each stage, how long would be, all this information I think are missing. Another perspective from economic issues or incentives. I'm talking from firms' perspectives. I think apprenticeships required senior staff, much time and resources to have, and I believe small and mid-sized firms cannot simply afford it. So this is one of the difficult, I think, it's the economic and incentives. So without incentives or government or support from government, like any program, I think it will be difficult. This is the barriers. Also, I think we should consider also the quality. Okay, the quality is very important thing in apprenticeship. We don't want to end up with the graduates or architects just do a low value task or repetitive work or something not added to them in the practice. I think this is the most important three barriers to include apprenticeship models in our current system.
Do you want to add?
Yeah, I can also add from a student point of view. I think that mentorship programs is something we must. And I believe that creating a mentorship program where students can shadow experienced professionals would have a lot of and a huge impact. Because when these programs are carefully designed and mentors are thoughtfully selected, they will inspire young designers. And I believe that the spark and energy of young designers and architects, if guided by strong, experienced leaders, can build a new generation that are skilled and impactful designers.
And it will make it easier maybe even for the mentors if it's organized by the university rather than taking time and scheduling them themselves.
Exactly.
It would be a better idea. So let's
If I may just
yeah,
add
sure.
a quick thing here that I think is another barrier from a student's or a younger generation point of view. I think an openness to a lot of things is needed really for this to work. An openness to learn, an openness to be wrong, an openness to make mistakes, and an openness to accept mistakes from the other sides. And I think that's why I said, you know, if the chemistry is right, if the belief system is aligned, if the design principles, I see a lot of, it seems for me, it seems like a lot of the younger generation, and I'm making myself sound very old right now, but you know, at least the people that I meet, like either students, still students, or people who just graduated, there is this eagerness to arrive to a certain point that nobody knows what that point is. الكل مستعجل. Everybody is running after something, and they're always, I keep hearing, I'm late, but nobody knows what they're late for. And I think giving things time, giving yourself time to learn, giving yourself time to teach and to share is something that today's setup is kind of against. So you need to really have that intention to seek knowledge, to seek growth, and that is not an easy journey.
So openness along with patience.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've been told, like, how can I be a star architect? And they just graduated. It needs time. I agree. So this maybe takes us to Rayana, and she can help us maybe for a fresh graduate who's eager to learn and have a mentor and you know, and even have a great career and job. So how would you show that? How would you show this eagerness and networking in the right way and not be too pushy, I would say?
I think it should be starting with, since you're a student, that basically be close to the market, attending conferences, joining competitions, participating in certain discussions, were a key factor for me personally to build relationships and get to know people in the field and the market need as well. So this exposure, it's like to open yourself, to showcase yourself, to show your, to engage with people and increase your job opportunities, because it not only shape your personal, but also shape your mentality, your way of thinking, and this also will enrich your performance even in the academic projects. So I believe that these engagements will accelerate and increase your job opportunities and to get to know yourself even more better.
And to Ahmed, how do we balance between the need for the generalist designers versus specialists, especially that we have a lot of emerging design fields and sometimes very, very niche and very specialized? Given that you're an architect and you're in another field now.
I'll just make a quick comment on something that
Sure.
Raina have said.
Sure.
Not being too pushy. I think
In the
Be
right
pushy.
way. Yeah, in the
Yes.
right way.
I mean, every time we have an intern in our office, I'd like to sit with them in their first week, and I said, you will get out of this as much as you give to it. Don't expect us to follow you to give you tasks. Go pick up whatever task you can get and work on it. There were interns that when they joined us, they opened our eyes to certain areas. They brought that some kind of an energy to the space. You would just want to get rid of them by giving them tasks, and that's how they grow, you grow, and you build this relationship too. And there were interns that, they came there, they
Passive.
sat, past 2 months, 2 months finish, and then yalla ma salam, you get a cake to tell them goodbye, and that would be it. And so I understand what you meant, but I think push for it. Now going,
And she
ahead
actually
with your,
had an experience in that,
Yeah.
and we will go back to the question. But knowing her, and I was following her with her experience in France and the internship, and that's one of the questions she asked me. Like, no one is giving me tasks, and what should I do? And maybe you can share this experience, Rayana.
Yeah, at the beginning, as I experienced an internship in Paris, different people, different culture. I don't know how they work and how they style their giving work to me. I started to ask people, even not in my professional as interior designer. I went to people for communication, and I started to take anything that I could work on and put my time on and be useful as the same time. So it's just frustrating for the intern to just sit at the corner, nothing to do, just waiting for the hour to pass and go home, and another day, another loop. So.
But this took you to a project where you designed the Pinali, right? And
Yeah,
hosted the
exactly.
content,
When I just reach to people and accept that challenge that I need to push and to ask for work to do, okay, just sit here and look for the Binali, do some modification, and this is how it works. I agree with Ahmed that the intern and who must to catch the work and ask for work even multiple times, it's okay, because maybe they don't actually remember the task they're giving you, or just people just
They're
busy.
busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
So let's go back to Ahmed. So
So-
how we can balance between the generalists, especially I get these questions a lot. Like, I'm an architect, can I go to a niche specialization or shift even the direction?
do you really have to balance between them?
Okay, maybe not.
I mean, again, if I speak from personal experience of myself or of people around me that I know. I mean, I believe all designers go through phases of being interested in different things in different times of their career. A younger designer in their first year of professional practice think that they know everything. They just graduated. We've done all the Dunning-Kruger curve, where people in the beginning of their career, they think they know everything. And then as time passes by, they realize they don't know much. and they start trying to build their knowledge in a certain area or try different things to find their niche. And that gives them the ability to be generalists in a lot of things, but yet an expert in one thing. And I think most designers need to be able to, I studied architecture, I studied construction systems, not to be a construction engineer, but to understand that world so that when I design a building, I can understand. Today in advertising, I say not all creatives need to be film directors, but you really need to understand the language, the process, the challenges, the steps that result in going there, but know your place in that process. And knowing your place this year doesn't mean that this will be your place for the rest of your life. I remember when I graduated and I visited school, when I graduated, I went right on to advertising. I never really worked as an architect. And I remember one of my professors was like, you wasted 5 years of your life to go do something else? So I said, I don't believe I wasted it. I learned a lot of things. They inform my practice today. However, let's assume that I have. It's not a life sentence to study for 5 years and graduate with a degree in a certain area. That does not mean that I have to continue my life in that just because I made a bad decision when I was 18. So we were joking yesterday on lunch. We are an advertising agency of 50 plus people. I think only 2 people there in our company have actually studied marketing. Everybody else is self-taught practitioners, ended up in that area. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's my 2 cents
Kind
there.
of, but I think Dr. Badr will help us, especially that with his experience in academia. I don't think it's a waste that you studied for 5 years in architecture, because design disciplines, they have things in common. I mean, design thinking and even the way they think as a designer, not necessarily, I would say, the particulars. But as the university or as academic program, how we can prepare the designers to make these shifts and even understand they will be architects and they will go and be star architects, and maybe they will take niche, like be really specialized in sustainability, let's say. So how we can prepare them to have this, I would say, variety and be open to all the options?
I will answer this question in the current system, okay, now. So we support students during their study while they are in university, okay? So when we build the academic programs, we should focus on tracks, okay, and elective courses, for example. So we create 3 paths or 4 paths in the same curriculums, okay, to make the student choose which path to prefer. For example, sustainability, graphics, AI. Now we focus on AI, and everyone focusing on AI these days. So this is one of the things is the tracks and elective courses in the same program. Also, I think we need to focus on a real experience or real project. I remember this also comes with the flexibility of the academic program in our universities. I remember when I did my master, there was a studio. It's 12 credit hours. It's called a design built studio. Okay, so you register only this course, okay, and go away in another city and build a building, okay, with the expert people, architect, contractors, all these people working around you, and the university is flexible. So when you register this course, for example, or this studio for 12 weeks, they give you an optional for register 3 or 4 credits online. Okay, so this is some of the flexibility that helps students to choose tracks also. I think this thought in the current system, but if we if we talk about the ideal system, for example, I think we have some models in UK and Germany that focus on students from I think early identification from high school and during the study, also the pre-degree programs. So, for example, in UK, the University of Arts London, I think offered the diploma the first year for architecture and design program. They make the student choose. They have two moods: the diagnostic mood and specialized mood. I think. Okay, the diagnostic mood, the students go through the different courses and skills to see what is his or she weaknesses or the thing. Or the specialized mood, if you want to focus, for example, on architecture, interior design, and this, you can go. And it will be counted in I think, or it counted as a year of their
So it's not
program.
just empower them with knowledge and different type of courses, but also the mindset from
Yes,
the beginning
exactly.
and choosing the right path, and even after they graduate.
Yeah, exactly. And now, actually, I'm blaming the College of Architecture here in Saudi Arabia, especially those who has a foundation year for architecture, for example. I think because of the institutional resistance, okay, the foundation year, it becomes an English skills and natural science and this stuff. And after that, the student elect the path or the discipline based on thinking JBA and preferences. I think this is the way. It's not the way of showing their skills and their strength, actually.
Yeah. So they're not experiencing the actual knowledge or
Yes.
the path or their even interest.
Yes,
Right?
I think when I was in school, I realized I am architect in the fourth year, actually.
Oh, okay. And now you have PhD in architecture.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to solve of this problem and that I was faced here.
I'm glad that we have people like you, Doctor. Okay, to Ahmed, I mean, after graduation, you jumped immediately into entrepreneurship in totally different, not totally, I wouldn't say totally different, but in another field that intersect with design. So what would you say to young designers here who want to take this path after graduation?
So I took this path after graduation from my master's degree.
Still jumped.
So I think my first 3 years of my career after graduating university, my undergrad, were extremely important to focus my plans into what is it that I would like to do. And I think it exposed me to the market that I had quite a few assumptions about, but you know, when you're in the belly of the beast and you have access, to cut the answer shorter, I would highly recommend that people actually, if they have an entrepreneurial eagerness, to first try working for a company, because even for a short period, there are things that you can read in books, but if you experience, it's very different. It's very different than learning about it or hearing about it or experiencing it secondhand through people that you know. You know, things as simple as knowing what an employee feels like when you tell them you're late or come at this hour. You know, things that are not necessarily revolving about or around the thing that you're actually doing as a designer, but rather in creating that ecosystem or that place. So I would say try it out, work in a place. It's a benchmark for you if you want to work in more than one place to kind of triangulate where is it that you feel the gap is a great thing that you can do to serve yourself in the next phase of an entrepreneurial endeavor.
Since you mentioned that you continued with your master's after graduation before actually working, this is one of the questions that we always get, like, should I go for my master's or work and then continue my studies? So from your experience, what would you say?
I asked my academic advisor this question in my last year in university, Dr. Ashraf Salama. And he said something great. He said it depends on you. Because my question was, should I pursue my master's now, you think right after graduating? Or do you think I should work for a few years and then go for it? He said, if you think that you can go back to school after working, having some kind of financial independence, and putting it in his words, بعد ما الفلوس تجري في إيدك. So he was like, if you get used to being paid and change your lifestyle, it might be very challenging or difficult to go back to being a student and the تقشف that comes with student life. If you think you can do it, then I would highly recommend that you would work to find out exactly what is it that you want to study or pursue your studies in. Because if you go directly after undergraduate, it's shooting in the dark in a way if you don't really know or have a practical experience in the market. So yeah, if you can, wait, get some experience, and then go pursue the next endeavor.
But it depends on the person, for
Yeah.
sure, yeah. So Rihanna, you, as someone who's just start working, and you have the experience of working in a company, and after you took the internship for 3 months in France, you told me that now I feel that I'm actually competent, and I can go in the competition, international competition, and I feel really, really confident for the work that, and even the kind of knowledge that I acquired during my studies. So tell us more about this experience and how it actually made you more confident, and how was your perspective before that? Because not everyone is going to have an internship, of course, in France, but sometimes I feel this hesitation in the Saudis' talent. We cannot actually apply for this competition, or we're not actually going to be equal to the international firms and so on.
I think this experience added me a lot to change my mentality, not only technical or knowledge aspects. It definitely increased my confidence as Saudi designer because it proved me that we are highly capable and competitive at an international level. And I believe that what makes us special, that we have a rich culture, rich heritage and history that makes us have the distinctive design perspective, and it's actually what makes us unique. For the quality, I saw just same quality, same knowledge, but I saw the difference in the mentality, because I think the Western or European architects have the confidence and have the trust as designers and architects. But I think when Saudi designers have both the trust and support, they will reflect our heritage and culture in a very unique way, and they will create a unique experience and truly represent how we are as students. And it also will elevate our profession in Saudi. So yeah, I think that this experience just made me think twice that why we as designers and architects don't apply for competitions, the work in larger scale projects. We actually did have the knowledge and did have the capability to do this.
So I'll end this discussion maybe with the questions that I will ask all the panelists. I'll start with the first questions. Like, if you could implement one change to improve the design scene in Saudi Arabia, what would it be? And I hear a lot from designers and even leaders in the scene who says, like, we feel like we're running AI, whatever. Like, there is always something new. There's always a new project in the scene. So, what would you change? We can start with Ahmed since he's smiling.
I'm thinking of a few things. I would say for the market, I would delegalize spec work. Not make it illegal to work on pitches without being paid.
Okay. Anything else? Since you have many.
No, I mean,
But appreciate the work of designers, maybe?
yeah, I mean, you know, I think people think creative work is a push of a button. And يعني, I have a lot of respect for people who work in any kind of a creative industry. Because I believe that what we do is not really natural. You know, I don't think people were, especially in our industry, in advertising, a big shout out to us. Because I think that to be expected to come up with creative solutions every single day in your work is not something that I believe people in the past, in this space that we are living in today, there are a lot of people who are trying to prove themselves, to leave a mark in this world, so this eagerness, I believe, sometimes is exploited by, everybody show me what you have. If I like something, I'll take that, I'll pay only for that. And I believe it comes, ما بزعل الناس بس it comes from a place of ignorance and laziness. A lot of people in general don't really know exactly what they want or they're trying to, and they're kind of using this tool of spec work as a shortlisting tool. So that's why I think.
So I would say the balance between competitiveness and appreciating creatives.
Yeah, I think appreciation of creative process, of creative work is قاعد أحس إني حلطومي صاير دحين بس yeah. Anyways.
But maybe balance between them
Yes,
is a
absolutely.
good idea.
I think if we work with each other rather than the feeling of a competition or of holding,
Co-create.
if I've seen Rayana's work and I believe that, you know what, I believe in her process, in her thinking, in her results. I know she can achieve good results. We always say, a good project is a result of a good brief and a good client. And it is the same. So to expect me to do the work and then it's not a one-way street. It is, creatives thrive generally on feedback. تعال خليني أسمع منك واسمع مني, and let's have this conversation. Respect me as a creator. I will respect you as someone who needs my support and help, and we will have this reciprocal respect that will result into a great result.
To open a dialogue instead of competition.
Yeah.
True. Doctor?
I want to create a national design apprenticeships and innovation framework, okay, similar to countries like US and UK. I think this is one of the important reasons that we fix the misalignment problem from academia to market. I think this is very important thing. We need the competences, clear competences oriented to the skills. All this stuff, I think, without any unified standards on a national framework, it will be difficult. I think this is one of my dreams. and inshallah, Architecture and Design Commission will help with this. Also, we have a problem in universities. It's one size fits all. Okay, so when we say field training, it's all field training about completing our courses. No internship in the third year or in the fourth year. This is one of the problems we face in the university and institution resistance to change and adapt. I think this framework would help us a lot to solve the misalignment. Also, I see the micro-X initiatives by Human Capability Development Program, and as far as I know, unfortunately, there is no courses related to architecture and design. So I think this is also one of the things that we focus on, because I'm talking about myself from there are skills that I need to refresh. For example, the BIM. Okay, I think municipalities now required BIM for some work and some drawings, and will become mandatory in the future. Okay, I think micro-X program. I think like this program would help to change the skin a lot.
Yeah, I didn't went through a lot of things actually, and I don't have data to compare. But I think what came on my mind that what if we developed the younger generation, like the primary school and above, that give them the clear picture of what architecture and what interior design actually is, because it will be different for people who are intentionally enter this major, passionate about it, and after graduate they really want to do something impactful for the field.
So more awareness to
More awareness,
young,
more knowledge to the young generation.
Okay. Thank you, Rayana. So before I open the floor for the audience, we would like to just show you a quick clip about the opportunity that we talked about a lot in the international internship that the Architecture and Design Commission did in France, that Rayana was part of it. This internship was all the, I would say, top 10 from the Mersem Design Award. They were nominated for this international internship, and only 6 of them, they were selected. So if we can play the clip, and then I will open the floor for any questions from the audience.
هذا البرنامج نتاج اللي هو شراكة مع منظمة آفكس الفرنسية، وهي تعطي فرصة للشباب والشابات السعوديين والسعوديات المميزين في مجال العمارة والتصميم أنهم يحصلون على فرصة تدريب مميزة وعالمية من خلال العمل على مشاريع كبيرة من أنحاء العالم.
hope this was inspiring, and this is just an invitation for you to apply for Mersem Design Award or tell people that you know about. That will be open next year. So we would like to open the floor for any questions from the audience. If you have any questions to any of our panelists, this is the time. Okay. So we'll just end the...
ممكن تعليق بس على
Sure.
around 11 years ago in our first years in عنصر مشع, there was a competition organized by إثراء. It was called iDesign. I think it was only done once, and we had doubts, should we apply, should we not apply? We're still a young studio, and I think it was one of the best things that we have done, because we came back with a very different view about us, as Rayana mentioned قبل شوية. We kind of saw that they're people, we're people. They have the same machines we have the same brains they have. If they did it, we can do it. And I think that was the biggest takeaway, regardless of all the other details. But as young, lost entrepreneurs on a entrepreneurial journey in the beginning of our career, it was a huge boost to our confidence, to our belief in what we want to do. And I think it would be great for more and more people to go through different experiences. It's not about Paris or France, or it's about being exposed to a different experience and see that, if there are others that have been or that managed to do it, إيش المانع that we do.
Thank you. With this, we can end with this really great advice, we can end our session. Thank you for our panelists for your valuable insights from different sectors, I would say, in the architecture and design. And thank you, the audience, for your listening. And I hope that you enjoyed this session. Thank you very much.